A very good morning to each one of you. I am Priyanka Tandon, FICCI FLO member of the Lucknow chapter and the moderator for today's event. Before we start with the proceedings of the event, I would like to inform that for better reception, the audio and video of all our guests have been turned off. I would like to take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest speaker, Infosys Chairperson Srimati Sudha Murthy ji, Honorable National President-elect FLO 2021, Ms. Janvi Pukhan, respected governing body members, our chapter chair, Ms. Pooja Garg, the executive committee members, our event chair, Ms. Manjari Mishra, my lovely FICCI FLO family across India, and guests to this very first webinar organized by FLO Lucknow chapter in the new year. I now request Pooja Garg, Chairperson FICCI FLO Lucknow chapter, to kindly deliver her opening speech and carry the proceedings further.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. A very warm welcome to Sudhaji, the President-elect FICCI FLO Janvi Pukhan, to the Presidium, governing body members, and to all FLO members from across India. It is indeed a very special day for me as we begin the FLO year at Lucknow by hosting a legend. Our speaker today dons many hats and plays many roles. She holds a special place in all our hearts. She is none other than Srimati Sudha Murthy ji. Her journey has been extraordinary in every sense of the word. She is a woman who has broken many glass ceilings and is credited with many firsts in her illustrious career. Though a person of her stature needs no introduction, I am compelled by her greatness and humbleness to share some of her milestones with you. Sudhaji is the chairperson of Infosys Foundation and has handled 13 national disasters in the last 23 years. She strongly believes in creating awareness for social causes and has passionately traveled the world for this purpose. A prolific writer in English and Kannada, her books have been translated into all major Indian languages. She has also received 7 honorary doctorates. Some of her awards included the coveted Padma Shri in 2006 and most recently the Lifetime Achievement by Crossword Book Awards in 2018. Ma'am, I'm extremely honored to have you amidst us. I would now like to welcome the President-elect FICCI FLO, Janvi Pukhan, who is here with us today. She is the first President-elect of FLO from Northeast India and is the co-founder of 2 award-winning companies. Passionate about women's empowerment, she strongly advocates and tirelessly works towards building sustainable livelihoods for women's economic upliftment. I request our President-elect, Janvi Pukhan, to kindly welcome our speaker and address our members by saying a few words. Janvi, please, can we have you?
Namaste. Namaste, Mrs. Murthy. Namaste. Absolute pleasure to be here today. And congratulations to Lucknow chapter for one of the first virtual events that we are carrying on in my term in 2020-21. I would like to especially congratulate Pooja for getting Mrs. Sudha Murthy. I personally am a great fan of yours, Mrs. Murthy. There's so much work that you have done, so much of examples you have set for us, that for all of us in business today, must also have that time to set aside for the compassion that you have shown and shown that it is possible for all of us, if we can understand a little bit more about your journey and how you have been able to make it possible, the foundation that you run, the lives that you have touched. It is so inspiring for all of us. So I'm here as a listener today, and it's my absolute joy to know that our organization, which has grown since 1983, now we have 17 chapters in the country, are here today listening to you together. I can ask for nothing more but to say that we would love to have an opportunity to have you back with us again and again. Thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Janvi. Thank you. I would now like to introduce our event chair, Ms. Manjari Mishra, to this august audience. Manjari belongs to the erstwhile royal family of Ayodhya and is a sartorial revivalist. Drawn towards the rich and opulent world of textiles and handicraft, a self-taught designer, Manjari was fascinated by the lost glory of it all. She launched her brand Shilp Manjari to revive the sartorial arts getting lost to time. Sudhaji, I speak for all of us here when I say that to have you here today is a privilege for me and my fellow members. I would like to begin today's session by asking you this question, ma'am. Ma'am, I read in an article that you have studied in a college where you were the only girl in your class, and your words were, "So I knew what it's like to be the only lady in unknown circumstances." I'm extremely curious to know, ma'am, how you decided to go for the most unconventional career in those times for a woman, and why was it engineering?
Namaste. It is nice to meet all of you on screen because Manjari ji called me and said you should come to Lucknow. I said physically it is not possible. It's before COVID only I told her, because it's hard for me to travel so much for one day session. But it happened that the COVID came and we have the latest technology and this became easier than coming to Lucknow. So that way I'm meeting all of you on screen. I'm really touched that many people have logged on and they want to listen to me. I do not know what I will tell you because everybody has a story. I have a little bigger story, that's all. Anyway, so thank you very much for coming and connecting. Pooja, after this, I got about 10 calls from FICCI Bombay, FICCI Delhi, FICCI Jaipur, every FICCI actually is telling, why can't you do for us? I said, no, I can't do everyone because I have still a lot of work. I work for the COVID now, so I don't get so much time. But because you were the first people and Manjari was very, very keen, I said, I will definitely come and whatever I have, I will share. Your question is actually a very nice question. And as a young girl, I was very fond of science and arts both. I used to like both subjects. I was very fond of mathematics and I was very fond of history, both. But I liked most important thing is the application of science, not pure science. Because ultimately application of science changes life. If you talk only about Newton laws, you will not get anything. But if you tell something application of Newton laws, then our life will be better because of many equipments will be there, many principles will be there based on that. Like steam is nice, we see in a pressure cooker, but steam engine has changed the world. So I was always fond of application of science in real life. And my brother was a pure scientist, actually. He's a pure scientist. So for an application science oriented person, engineering is the best branch of science. So I decided I will take it up. It was very, very unusual 52 years back to go for engineering from a small town. Ayodhya is a big town. My place is much smaller than Ayodhya. And people thought there's something wrong with me in my brain, actually. How can any girl can think doing engineering? It is next to impossible. So there must be something wrong here or something wrong with her father who is sending her. So a lot of advice was given to me, it's not good to do engineering. It's not meant for girls, all those things. But still I decided to do. And also I was very young. So I said, no, whatever it is, I will do that. and we never had a toilets there. I think I talked about it many times there. I know what it is there not to have toilets, particularly for women. So, I did work very hard. And while in engineering college, I realized many things which made my life much better later. Number one, I know everybody used to say it's a man's domain, but I realized we are better than men in many ways. There is nothing like a man's domain or a female domain except a woman delivers, which man cannot do. Okay. Second thing, I know what it is not to have a toilet and how to adjust. It made me great adjustment in life. Third thing, there are always boys and there are no girl. And so I should depend on me, only on myself. That made me very independent by nature. So I learned a lot in engineering college.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I would now like to ask you.
Please ask. First of all, I want to tell every one of you, don't get tense and worried. Be happy, be relaxed. There is nothing like, suppose something happens, what can happen? Nothing can happen. At the most, the connection may go and it may be audio. Don't worry, relax. When you relax, then you feel better to converse. Don't get stressed. In all the members, I'm requesting you, don't get stressed. It's not worth it.
Yes, true, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, I believe that you woke up to a new outlook over 2 decades ago, when your daughter urged you to reflect on the purpose of your life.
Yeah.
Ma'am, was that your true calling in life?
Actually, in general, I have this attitude towards life. Whatever I get, I would like to do very well or excel in that. Probably, yes. Akshata reminded me that she said, I was 45 years old and she was 15, and she told me, Amma, what's your duty? Is it money? Is it glamour? You have enough money, you have enough. You want to enjoy life, you have a lot of money. You can travel, you can eat every day in different restaurant, etc., etc. But what is that? If you do not help poor people, then what is the use of your life? She asked me this question. And that probably I thought for a week, what is my aim in life? What exactly that makes me happy? Is it a lot of money, a lot of ornaments? It's individual. Okay, I don't make a general statement. For me, for my life, I felt I should help people.
And such a wonderful thought. And ma'am, you have done wonders for people across the world.
No, I have done small bit. It's like, I know I can, like Mother Teresa said, I know I can't change the world, but I can be that stone which can create a ripple. That much I can tell you.
Ma'am, you've been that. Ma'am, you are the country's most notable philanthropist. You are the chairperson of the Infosys Foundation and also a member of the Public Healthcare Initiative of the Gates Foundation, among several others. Could you please share with us 1 or 2 stories that have touched your heart? And we would also like to know how Infosys Foundation has reached out to the people during the most pressing issues of COVID-19.
About incidents in life, I think I have noted down in my 5 or 6 books on, what is the latest one I have? 3,000 Stitches. I have many books actually. So many of them are there. But I can tell you how it affects people, that I can tell you. It is not that you should buy my book and read it. It's not that way. But, it will really take away the time. So I rather tell you what exactly we work and the way we think is so different. For example, COVID-19, when it came, much before 22nd lockdown, we started 10 days before. Because, I was looking at the paper in other country, what is happening. In UK, how they are behaving. In US, how they are behaving. In Germany, though we may not have the similar kind. So I felt the most important thing is, let us start now when you get things easily. So we bought a lot of ration, tons of ration actually. Made packets, food packets, dry food packets. And in the whole thing, you should remember, who will suffer? Poor in any hadsa. Okay. Oh, Manjari told me I should talk in between some Hindi, but my Hindi is very poor, Manjari ji. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि मेरे लैंग्वेज के ऊपर मेरा कंट्रोल नहीं होता है, इसीलिए मुझे अच्छा लगता है हम इंग्लिश में बात करेंगे, लेकिन आपका if you insist, then maybe I can.
No, ma'am. Whatever you are comfortable with.
Okay. So whenever any hadsa happen, people rush immediately and then they keep quiet afterwards. Okay. So by 25 years in philanthropy work, I have realized that we should get prepared for that. So we bought tons of rice, tons of millets or whatever was required to survive. And we made dry food ration. And also we started a kitchen to feed in a school area. The children should come and eat and go home twice a day. In any of such hadsa, actually, who suffer? Only poor people suffer. It's not that rich people don't suffer. They also suffer, but the percentage is more with the poor people. A, they do not have good hygiene. B, their awareness is less. Their awareness is less. C, they have to earn money and life should go on. Like I can afford to sit 3 weeks at home. They can't afford to sit. They have to go out. And 4, we have to help them in that period. If we don't, then it becomes very difficult for them later part. So we made all those plans, and the mindset of Infosys Foundation is, it is not the fame. Fame ultimately comes. But if it doesn't come, it doesn't matter. I will give you some personal incident you wanted to know. My mother and my mother-in-law, both of them died in front of me in my hands. While talking only, my mother just died, heart attack, and my mother-in-law died in my hand. And just, I saw both deaths in my hand. Actually, that made me to think, you may have so much money, you may have fame, you may be very good. All these things are fine, but still you cannot conquer the world, particularly death you cannot conquer. Then what you can conquer in the world? I went on thinking backwards. Actually, there is, out of 100 in life, 10% is in our hand. We can study well, we can be honest, we can work hard, and we should be sincere. All these things are in our hand, but incidents are not in your hand. And that is the reason that made me to realize that this kind of a money what I have is definitely not that 10% work that is within me. The money which we own may not be full, but partially should go to the society. When you read the history of our country, there are many kings, many sultans, many nawabs, many maharajas, including Ramchandra. Today, we don't have them. So we are always under the assumption that if you have more money, then you can do many things. Yes, you can do a good infrastructure. More money gives you a kind of a confidence, I can do a better work. But money cannot buy you the great satisfaction. The satisfaction is always your work which brings you. When I realized that, I said, no, I should do a lot more work for my own satisfaction, not to please anybody. The kind of happiness I get by helping others is only to please me. Whether I get award or reward doesn't matter. I have learned when you run behind fame and money runs away. Or you say you run behind Lakshmi runs away from you. When you run behind a good quality of work, helping others, Lakshmi follows you, or she comes behind you. So don't work keeping that I should appear in 10 papers, I should get these awards. No, the real award is your happiness. And that gives you a kind of satisfaction, a kind of detachment, a kind of honesty, and a kind of simple way of living, which makes you extremely content. That is only with, in my case at least, it has come with my work.
Ma'am, it's so truly inspiring to hear you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, just hearing you, and when we will get time to retrospect on this, ma'am, I'm sure that we will in ourselves find somewhere an ability to work and give back to the society, take inspiration from you, and reach out to people in our own special ways. Ma'am,
I just want to tell you one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
This I learned from a poor man. Okay. Poorest of the poor man taught me this. It was about 20 years back. I was traveling in Tamil Nadu. I don't know if you have read that. I written about that. And my car got stuck in the rain, and I went to a temple nearby in a God-forsaken village in the middle of around forest. There was a lot of forest, and in the temple out there, there was a blind old man. And he taught me, in your life, you should draw a line of satisfaction and you should not cross it. Because he was blind and I gave him 100 rupees as a dakshina. He performed a puja and he touched it and told me, no, I don't need this. I said, why? He said, I get food from the village and I perform the puja. The village doctor gives me medicine. I don't require. And he said, then I told, give you your name and account. You open an account, I'll give you 20,000 rupees. Just keep it for emergency. He said, I don't have any account. Then he told, beta, if I have money, then nobody will give me anything. And there'll be chore people after me to take that money because I'm blind. So I asked God, whatever I have, I'm happy in that. He said, I do not know who you are, but I want to tell you, please learn in life to draw a Lakshmana Rekha. What I have is enough. Everybody's Lakshmana Rekha is different. Mine is different. Yours is different. Somebody else is different. I never say you don't require money. That's totally wrong. Everybody cannot become Bhagavan Buddha. Please remember. Or Jain Tirthankara. It is not possible. We are all normal human beings. But where you say enough is left to you. Money is required for our medicine. Money is required for our old age pension. Money is required to have some comfortable life. Like, you should have a house. You should have someone to help you when you grow old. Money is required to travel. And when money becomes more than that, in my case, I'm thinking, then it becomes a burden. But how much you want, that is your decision. For someone, 1 crore is enough. For someone, a house in the city, a farm is enough. Someone, a house in the city, a farm in the village, and an apartment in Nainital may be enough. Someone having an apartment in London is enough. So I will not comment on that. It depends on your requirement where you draw the line. And once you draw the line, and then the remaining money, you should give back to the society. For some people, the line may not be drawn. That is okay. That is okay. I never make a comment saying that, oh, look at that person, she or he never gives. That line is not drawn, you should think. Okay? This is the way I have looked at life. Tell me now, next question.
Ma'am, my next question to you is, ma'am, you've been one of the most loved writers. And you novels, travelogues, technical books, collection of short stories, and non-fictional pieces, and books for children too. Ma'am, when did you discover the urge to write? And what is your favorite genre to write? And how do you choose your subjects, ma'am?
I started writing probably when I was 8 or 10, in a very young age. My mother was a school teacher. So she would always tell me, she will take us to, she was a history teacher. So she would take us to one historical place and come back and tell me, okay, what did you see today? You write. And as a young girl, I would say, I will write tomorrow. Then she will tell, oh, okay, then you'll have lunch tomorrow. That made me compulsory writing that day. And then I started liking it. Then I started writing 25 lines per day. I remember when I was 10 years old, I wrote about rain, I remember. Because rain is so beautiful, I felt it. So in school, in college, I used to get very good essay prize because I used to write better. I'm a Kannada medium, like, how we have Hindi medium, movie. You must have seen, all of you must have seen Hindi medium movie, Irfan Khan's movie. So I was a Kannada medium 10th class, and then I used to read a lot actually. I used to, in my holidays, I will go to library and finish all the books. And one holiday, actually, I by-hearted entire dictionary. Okay, these are my hobbies. But I used to write. College, when I went to engineering college, I wrote very few essays. I remember I wrote on Mozart, actually. And it came out in the paper, and I was so happy. Oh, it was coming in the print in those days in 1963, 64. It was something very great, And they gave me 5 or 10 rupees as a royalty also, I remember. And it was celebration for me. So in engineering, I could not write because I had a lot of studies. Again, I started writing when I joined Telco. I started writing. I traveled on my backpack first time, in 1979. Like, you feel ancient, okay? on my backpack and with minimum money to US. And that I wrote. My first book was From Beyond Atlantic, my experience traveling on a backpack all alone. About America. Today I laugh at it because nobody will read it. It was in 40, 50 years back. It was a great thing. Then I wrote a novel, How Rich People's Wives Live. I had a great fascination because husbands are so busy. What the wives do? What do they sit at home? Or do they ask husband's company? Or do they do on their own? Okay. I never knew one day I'll become like that, but I never knew that. So that was always a curious side aspect of me. And I wrote a novel on that, Gently Falls Bakula, actually. And when I wrote, I used to ask my husband, he was working in Patni Computers, Murthy, tell me how rich people's wives live. He said, I don't know. We are not rich, so we do not know how they live. But I observed how people feel, what they miss in life, the common life actually, and how they compensate that. And everybody has their own way of compensating. For example, in a young age, your husband is working extremely hard because to get success, of course, one is you require other things, but the most important component of your success is hard work. And if you have only 24 hours, and if you sit with your wife for 10 hours a day, then you have only 14 hours, you can't work like that. Wives should allow husbands to work. That I believe in that. And don't go on asking, I'm getting bored. You find out something which you enjoy individually. And then whenever you have time, you spend time with your husband and you can spend time together. And your husband should not be the only friend to you. You have sisters, brothers, cousins, friends. A building should not have only one pillar. No building can stand on only one pillar. You should have many pillars for the best building. I'm sure before this session, you showed us a Lucknow property, some property deal you showed us. And I saw the parking space is there or not, in that. Okay. So if you have a multi-storied building, then you require a huge parking lot on the columns. Your life should be like that. You should have many columns in life. Columns could be your hobbies. Columns could be your female friends. Columns could be your relatives. Columns could be your work or your passion or something. Nothing is wrong to have anything, but legally, ethically right. Legally, ethically right. Okay. So that I realized in my life that if I want all the time my husband's company, he is building from scratch a great company like Infosys, which became in our own lifetime a legend. Then your husband has to do a tapas. In olden days, people used to go to tapas. Today, your husband does a tapas in the office. You should pat on his back and say, you don't worry, I will manage it. And such wives are always appreciated. And it's also good for you. Look, my husband might have worked hard, but I have given him saath, or I have become a pillar for him to build this one. So that is important in life. So I wrote that novel, Gently Falls Bakula. Then I wrote Dollar Bahu, because the way I used to think in 1980s, if going abroad was so different, and in a middle class family, somebody goes abroad, how there is a differentiation between at home between two bahus. One is a dollar bahu, one is a rupee bahu. And today, if I have to write, I will write in a different angle. But I did write, and it was very popular. Then I also felt it's important that in our rural area, our children should know what is internet, because internet just came into the market. So particularly in Kannada, because the books were always in English. So I felt my people should know in my language, I wrote. Then I traveled some very unusual areas like, like a Cuba, Iceland, Bahamas, and I wrote some travelogues on that. And Cambodia in those days, I think I went to Cambodia 20 years back, just after the war. And I wrote a book, how Indian culture has penetrated in Java, Sumatra, Indonesia, Thailand, and one more country there, Laos. So it is not by colonizing how Britishers did, it is by culturally we colonized them, because our culture is so good. It became a textbook. Many of my books have become textbook actually, because I work hard before I go to any place. Like I study about 2-3 months. I went to Tibet, but I studied 2-3 months before that. Then I make questionnaire and go. It is like a study tour for me. And then I enjoy, maybe because I'm the daughter of a school teacher. That could be the other reason. So of late, since 20 years, I'm writing more. Actually, I started writing in English when I was 52 years old, not before that. See, all girls, I want to tell you, all friends, I want to tell you, nothing is impossible in life. You can do it, except you cannot stop the waves of a sea. Nothing is free in life except mother's love. It is everything has a price except mother's love. Please remember, at 52, I started writing in English. And then now I'm writing more in English because the translation will be there immediately for 13 Indian languages. I wrote about my own experiences about Infosys Foundation, where people would like to, sometimes they believe that, I'm a big man's wife, so I won't understand. So they want to cheat me, telling that, oh, ma'am, you don't know how it happens. And at the end, I tell, I know better than you because I travel by bus, I travel by train. And just to know how people live, it's a part of my job. I know what is the price of what. You don't have to teach me, because people have this habit of taking you for a ride. And I enjoy when they want to take me for a ride and they go on explaining to me. And you must have read that cattle class in Heathrow airport. Somebody saw my salwar kameez and said, "Behan ji, aap economy mein ठहरना चाहिए, ये business class है." And I said, what does it matter? Then they said, ये cattle class लोगों को कितना भी समझाए तो ऐसे ही मालूम नहीं होता है इनको. I had a business class ticket just because I was wearing a salwar kameez and simple salwar kameez. They dismissed me that, I belong to cattle class. I said, cattle class में बहुत हम सीख रहे हैं, सीखना सकता है, सकती हूँ. So in general, I'm telling you, these are all the experience. And two people were talking about me, about 15 years back in a session. I went to a session and they were in the front. I was at the back because I was a little bit early for my session. And they were telling me, my daughter is very dull. The other one said, is it? I send her to, but she can't get married unless she has a job. Okay, send her to school. Let her become a school teacher. No, she can't even do that. Then, let her do social work. You look at Sudha Murthy, no brain. She writes a check. Poor husband has worked very hard to make money. So they branded me as a no-brain person. I said, okay, fair enough. Somebody can tell you you're no-brain. It's okay. Somebody will tell you you are Aishwarya Rai. But I'm not. No. People can talk to you anything. You should not get. I'm not sensitive when people talk to me that you don't have a brain or you are like this. I said, fair enough. That is the way from your eyes. My eyes are different. No. Let people talk you anything, but you should know what you are inside. And that is the confidence. The confidence is not always you are successful. It is not that always you make money and you're successful. The confidence is, look, I am a person, I have some positive, I have some negative. And if I think your time is up, I suppose, but I'm talking, but okay. How much time I have, beta?
Ma'am, you have all the time in the world.
No. But I want to finish what I'm talking.
Yes, please.
Confidence does not mean how much share you have, how much gold you have, how much your husband is worth, how much worth you are. It is not that. I'm a human being. I have some plus, I have some minus. Everything is plus is not possible for me. Some minus are there. Plus, I don't worry. Minus, I want to reduce it, improve it. And when I know that, I become confident. That's the reason our elders have told in a shloka, Keyurana vibhutiyam purusham harana chandrojvala nasnanam na vilepanam na kusumam salankrita murdhocha. It says, it is not the beauty, the kind of dress you wear, the kind of ornaments you have, the kind of kirita you have, none of them. What you have is vagbhushanam bhushanam. With the confidence, what you talk is the real courage. And everybody can get this real courage if they understand this. External appearance is different. That doesn't mean you should go in a shabby cloth and you should without washing your face. You should be presentable, but you should be confident in life. That's what I want to tell.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's never to judge a book by its cover.
Very good, very good.
Ma'am, I would now like to call upon our event chair, Manjari Mishra. She would now like to put.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear? Oh my God. Ma'am, can you hear us?
I'm not able to hear.
Ma'am, we're just checking. Tech team, please check. Ma'am, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Okay, so ma'am, Manjari is going to put up a few questions to you now. And
Hi Manjari, how are you?
Namaskar Sudha ji.
Namaskar ji, namaskar.
It's always so inspiring. जी बिल्कुल, आपका स्वागत है।
आफ्टर राम मंदिर होने के बाद हम आएंगे।
अरे बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, आपका स्वागत है, and it's
नमस्ते।
always so inspiring to hear you, and
थैंक यू
thank you
बेटा,
so
थैंक यू।
much for coming here. आपका
नहीं नहीं
स्वागत
नहीं,
है, बहुत
भैया
बहुत
को
आभार।
नमस्कार बोल देना
सबको सबको
घर में। हाँ
I have some few questions, Sudha ji. If you
प्लीज डू।
remember,
हाँ
if you remember when
हाँ
I met you some few years back,
हाँ
you introduced yourself as Rohan's mother.
या
And I was so much awestruck by meeting the Sudha Murthy, while you took so much pride in introducing yourself as a mother. So my question is, you have played many roles in life: an engineer, a business executive, a teacher, an author, a philanthropist, and so on. Which is closest to your heart? Which defines you the most? Or may I say, how Sudha Murthy sees herself?
Whatever role I get, Manjari ji, I always like to excel. That's what I feel. But it is nice to be everything little bit, I feel. Maybe to great extent as a philanthropist, because my heart goes immediately when I see any situation. Like in COVID, we started 10 days early and we put aside 100 crore. Now I have crossed 120 crore. My people in office says, ma'am, you should not get even laptop, because you start giving order to other people saying that we have to do this. All pan India you do. Any amount of money is not sufficient. I always say that is true. But what is the use of money when there is a problem and you don't use it? What is the use of that money? So probably as a philanthropist, I think I become extremely soft. And that feeling, I write it better, I think, when I become a writer.
Yes.
I
That we can
introduced
say.
you as Rohan's mother because I met your bhaiya in Jaipur Book Festival. He was reading one of Rohan's book from the Harvard series. And
Yes.
then, he introduced me that he's from Ayodhya. That's the reason. So otherwise, how will he connect to me? I said, Rohan is the person responsible for Murthy Classical Library, and that's the way I did.
So you were living the part of a mother that time.
Every part is beautiful. To be wife,
Yes.
to be mother, to be sister. Okay, all these, everything, as long as you take it in a right spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sudha ji, I always find a child inside you who is always curious, who is always asking questions, who is always curious to know the new things. So
Yes.
from where have you got this? Is it in your genes? Because your father, who was an accomplished doctor at that time, had decided to become a gynecologist at the
Yeah.
age of 42. So
Yeah.
have you inherited it from him?
Probably yes, I suppose, because my father died 20 years back. On his death anniversary, I said thank you. I used to call him Kaka. I said thank you, Kaka, giving me love for learning, and keeping myself as a child, because a child inside is always innocent and enjoys a good rain, a good thing. Like I really enjoy Vasant Rutu. I really enjoy it. I enjoy Bhairavi Raga than any Raga. Okay. And or Megh Mallar. I love Megh Mallar. So when there's a Mallar Raga, wherever I am, I would love to put their work aside and listen to that, and then I continue. This is because a child, when you take a child and go outside, the child enjoys when the flower blooms. Elderly people say, what is there? Every day it blooms, and you become cynical. The moment you become cynical and accept life, what is there in growing? What is there in Mallara? Then their life does not have much meaning. So the joy to enjoy life is always to be a child. Someone has made a comment 2 days back on me somewhere that Sudha Murthy, the child inside. I think if I not under Ashwini Tiwari or someone has made exactly the same statement. I pray God keep me as a child's innocence, but keep me the brain other side also to understand the human difficulties, and keep me my maturity to judge a person properly. And love for learning, I will never become old. The day I feel I can't learn, then I think I'm old person. And it happened 1942, it happened 1950, it happened no. When you start remembering, हमारे ज़माने में एक बार आ गया तो बुड्ढे हो गए. Always keep yourself young. And Manjari, I always like your dress. Even when I met you, and now also, you have very good aesthetic sense of nice dress.
Thank you
Because
so much,
whatever is
Sudha.
beautiful, you should always say yes. Like thing of beauty is always joy forever.
Thank you so much, Sudhaji.
Uh,
Now coming to your grandmother, Sudhaji, Amba Bai.
uh,
She was a woman of great substance who raised all her children single-handedly and
uh,
also look after her family business and farming. And
uh,
she was called the mother of more than 100 children because she brought into life more than 100 children. She once blessed you, may you be the mother of 100
100
children.
children.
So, do you think her blessings came true? And in how many ways are you a mother?
Well, actually, I had two grandmothers like anyone, and I was very fortunate. They lived for a long time, until I was 25 and 29. I think my both grandmothers were there, and both were so different yet so human. I have written a book on my mother's mother, which it's very popular. How I taught my grandmother to read and other stories. At the age of 62, my grandmother decided she was unpad lady. Okay, she never knew A, also in Kannada. At the age of 62, she decided to learn the alphabets, Varnamala. And she was a very kind-hearted person, particularly in terms of giving because we had 150 acres of land, but my grandparents lived only with the 3 sets of clothes, not more than that. Never ever took anything from the money they used to get from the land, and they always donated, and I have written on them red rice granary also. So I learned giving things to others, particularly when you grow, from my mother's Naniji, and from my Dadiji, I learned courage. From my Dadiji, I learned courage. Courage, she was a widow. She was a widow, and you may not be knowing in South India, when you become a widow, they shave their head. They have in olden days, they used to shave their head, and she has to wear a white sari all the time, cover her pallu on her head. And such lady was very courageous. And I really get scared now in looking at her, looking back. She conducted more than 100 deliveries in our village, irrespective of the community. And I have described, we went to a Muslim's house, how she conducted. And she was also unpad. Okay. My father was a gynecologist. He said to his mother, Amma, what courage you have to deliver. Suppose there is a forceps, there is a cesarean. What you do? He said, Beta, if you think that way, the child will be transferred. That means, uh, what you say, it is not straight. It's not straight. It's a transfer section. She said, I won't think that way. But she was very lucky. But what a courage is to conduct a delivery without even knowing the medical science, and very bit of knowledge in that. But no patient died of her patient. And courage and helping people irrespective of the community, probably I learned. So my both grandparents, I learned a lot, which I would not have learned from any university, that in life you have to help people, you should be courageous. And most of the things I have done is with my courage. And that is because of my grandmother Ambabai. The courage, people used to get scared to go to Orissa because there was a jumping malaria, some kind of a malaria was there. Jaundice. So everyone said you should not go. I said, I will go. I will take precaution. I took vaccination. I went. And even when I go to hadsa, like floods, etc., I take cholera injection and then I go. I have that courage. Take injections, take precaution, but go. This is the first time I'm sitting at home and connecting everything by video, because I've really been confined because of my husband's age. My husband is 74, and they say Mr. Murthy is 74 and diabetic and blood pressure. And if you go and something happens, then it will affect him. And because of that reason, I said, okay, I will do all that work without even disturbing anything from my computer or my phone.
So you are truly on the path of your grandmother, and we consider you more than 1,000 children's mother,
I
because
do not
you
know.
have that.
I
So
do
my
not
next,
know.
yes, no, we know Sudhaji. We have known so many things about your gratefulness. And my next question has this part also, that you have touched so many people's life and have been instrumental in shaping their life. So who is the person who has touched you the most in shaping your life?
Not really one person. Not really one person. Rigveda says, keep your mind open and let all the noble thoughts come from all directions. In my life, that is the way I have lived. When I was young, to great extent, my grandparents influenced me, I can tell, because they lived in a very simple way. Danam, priyavak sahitam, shraddhai danam, ashraddhai nadanam, a lot about dana. And he was a Sanskrit scholar, my grandfather, and particularly Ramayana and original I have read with him. So, though I think I was influenced by both of them. Later, when I was a teenage, to some extent, my grandmother, Ambabai, my father, my mother. My father was a person who said, for a woman, education is more important than marriage. He said, marriage happens, doesn't happen is different. But if you don't have education, you cannot live. It was a great learning from him, and which I told my students when I used to teach in college. Better first you learn economically independent, or you finish your degree, then fall in love. Don't do simultaneously, then neither of them will be successful, and fall in love after 25, because by the time you're a little bit more matured, It is not like 100 साल पहले मुझे तुमसे प्यार था, ऐसा नहीं होता है. So I said, don't do those things. Then maybe in House of Tatas, I felt their philanthropy helped me a lot in life. How you should be when you own a company, you should be with your employers. When you make money, how you should donate it with care. Those things I learned. Then in real life, I learned a little bit from my children. Like Akshata made me to understand in life, for me, the best way is the call is to help people. And Rohan, to tell me your love for Sanskrit, your love for literature remains only with you. We must have Murthy Classical Library, so that there are many more people like you will enjoy literature, which is originally either in Sanskrit or in Parsi or in Awadhi, your own language, Awadhi, in many things. So if you keep and remaining many things, I have learned it from the poorest of the poor people of my country. Large heartedness.
Yeah, you are such an inspirational story and such an inspirational family you have. And thank you so much, Sudhaji. It is always inspiring to hear from you. It is always enriching. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Namaste.
Now may I please, Namaskar. Now may I please request Priyanka Tandon to take over from here and proceed further.
Thank you, Manjari. I'm sure our guests have been treated to a soul-enriching experience with Sudhaji. Moving on, I now open the floor to questions from members and guests. We take our very first question from the National President-elect, Ms. Janavi Pokhan. Ma'am, please ask your question, and I request the technical team to kindly unmute, ma'am.
Sudhaji, it was so inspiring just to listen to you.
You are from which place you are calling?
I'm from Assam.
You are from Assam.
I'm sitting in Guwahati.
Guwahati.
All of
I come 3 times to Guwahati. We are doing some work in that eastern region, building hostels for the young girls. Then Assam floods, we worked. So many times I have come there. Okay.
Of course.
Tell
we always need you with us. And since we belong to this one great country together, so that we just listening to you. And I've been a great fan of all your books, of course. Please tell me how an organization like ours, 8,000 women, 17 chapters, what is the one thing that we could, we should be doing? What is your message to us, and what is that we should also be contributing to?
See, I don't tell everyone leave everything and get into philanthropy, because everybody's priority and age and circumstances are different. Okay, so what I believe every woman, what she can do is do her little bit, whatever is her part. For example, now the COVID has come. All of us have maid servants. Let us not say, no, I don't have. Everyone has maids, okay? Or some helpers. At least come jhadu pocha or some roti pakane ke liye. I'm sure everyone has. Now everybody can afford 1 month's salary of that lady. We can afford 500 rupees, or may not be even able to afford. We can give away 500 rupees, 1,000 rupees. Please give them salary. Don't cut their salary when they come back. Every woman can do, like, which I always like. In Gujarat, I learned this one in Gujarat. This is also there in Karnataka, which my grandmother used to do. When you cook, suppose I cook, in Gujarat, I learned if you make 10 chapati per day to your house, make another 10 chapati extra, so that you can give it to poor people. You can feed the poor. It is not hard. When you make 10, 20 is not hard. Okay, 20 is not hard. Next, my grandmother used to do, when she will cook 1 katori of rice, keep her 1 more katori of rice without cooking separate. I said, why? She said, I always, store this rice. In case some poor people come, we can always donate it. So I tell all women, these are fundamental things which I learned. You don't have to be Mother Teresa, and we are not Mother Teresa. You don't have to be a very big person in philanthropy. What is philanthropy? It is a loving fellow human being. Loving fellow human being. Love fellow human beings. Be kind to others. I think she is on a mute. Okay. Be kind to others, and whatever you can do to help others in your capacity, please do that. That's all I want to tell. You have 8,000 people. If 8,000 people can give, each of them can give you 500 people, 8,000 into 500, you calculate so much money you can give it. You can buy ventilators and give. You can buy anything you can do. Actually, I always believe the bottom of the pyramid than the top of the pyramid. If bottom is strong, then you can do a lot more activities, and everybody gets the sense of belonging. Otherwise, if we don't have sense of belonging, then you are not interested. It is better to have many people at the bottom of the pyramid and do the work.
Thank you, ma'am, for such words of wisdom. Can we take another question? I see another member ready with the question. Simu Bhai. Simu, please go ahead. Technical team, please unmute Simu.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, beta.
Ma'am, listening to your accomplishments, it seems as if you have lived multiple lifetimes and touched so many lives in your work and in the ways you have been working in India.
Everybody of you have lived like that. You don't recognize that. Are you not done your duty as a daughter, a duty as a wife, a duty as a mother? Because you can see me on the forefront, but every woman who is here, everybody has lived a lot of different lives. I mine is little more conscious, much more seen, but all of you are doing different passage of life most efficiently. As a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, as bhabhi, as maybe a mother-in-law when time comes. Please do not underestimate the power of a woman. Okay, beta.
But ma'am, like everybody has a bucket list. Is there anything in your bucket list that still lies there waiting for you to pay attention?
Actually, this question was asked to me by someone. And my answer is, I don't have any bucket list at all. This has two meanings. One is either my bucket list is really full and I don't have anything else, or I don't have bucket list. I think a wheel in a festival, you see that rotating wheel, giant wheel. Yes. And that is, I remember, of a bucket list, because everybody has a bucket list, but I have different bucket list. In the sense, in writing, in public life, as a mother. Okay, so I think I have done more or less whatever God has given. But maybe if you really ask, I have something small desire in my life. 1 or 2 are left. Major I don't have, because my nature is like that. Whatever I get contented and happy. So I don't wish much. There are two ways. One is you have many bucket lists and it may not be fulfilled, or you reduce your bucket list, it will be fulfilled fast. I am in the second category. However, I wanted to see Mohenjo-daro, Harappa. Okay, I was very keen on that, and I went up to Karachi and I was not able to make it. That is empty bucket list. Second thing I always tell in my lifetime, I want to see India, particularly poor people, should have 2 meals a day, 3 sets of clothes, and they should have one skilled education. I don't say BA, BSc, MCom, PhD, nothing. Skilled education, on that they can survive. You got me? It may be electrician, it may be a PhD in computer science, or anything, a surviving skill they should have. And that is my bucket list. And I really want to see that. Then I feel very nice about my country, because my country does not mean only export of software, Bollywood, fashion design. My country also means those helpless people with one skill, 2 meals a day, 3 sets of clothes. I feel my country will really come out in the world with laurels.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Beta. Thank you.
Sudhaji, I think the history Mohenjo-daro Connect is your childhood history connect with your mom.
Yeah, though I saw Lothal, all those things I have done. I have seen Lothal. Lothal is India's Mohenjo-daro Harappa, but Harappa is Harappa. Okay, I wanted to see 3 things. You know, one was Cambodia, another was Egypt, and third was Mohenjo-daro. But I saw those 2. It was easy. Mohenjo-daro, I could not go, even though I went there.
Ma'am, we have another question ready. It's from Shivani Gupta. So Shivani, you can go ahead with your question. Put it across to Sudhaji. Technical team, please unmute Shivani Gupta.
Yeah, Simu Ghai is related to Subhash Ghai.
Ma'am, I believe, ma'am, I believe our grandfathers were connected somewhere way back in Pakistan, because we come from the Jhelum district. Okay, so I believe my father-in-law's grandfathers were connected. Yes.
Okay. Ghai means a special name or anything of the family or the village, or what it means?
नहीं मैम, ऐसा नहीं है. अब मुझे ये नहीं पता कि नाम कहाँ से आया. I think हम ज्यादा घी खाते हैं, इसलिए घाई हो गए.
Very good.
But we come from the Jhelum district in Pakistan, जहाँ से गुलजार साहब भी होते हैं.
That's great.
उधर से ही है.
Okay.
तो ये सब घी लग गया इधर उधर, तो हम घाई हो गए.
नहीं, don't worry. I always tell, even though I drink water, it becomes ghee in my body. And my husband is very thin, so I said, even though he eats ghee, it becomes water in his body. Okay. Chaliye. Next question.
Hi, Sudhaji. I'm Shivani from Lucknow. Listening you, my words have also become more strong. कि जो कर रहे हैं वो जरूर करना चाहिए, अपने ऊपर विश्वास रख के, and it has become more stronger basically. आपसे एक सवाल करना चाहूंगी. In your long illustrious career, what were some of your most remarkable highs and lows which you faced and have left a mark on you?
Highs anyway. Highs you have seen. Highs. I will talk about lows. That is more important to learn, right? Yeah. Lows I want to tell you. The lows is, I will tell you, we started a company with no money, 2 children. Okay, we don't know if it takes off or not. And I come from middle class Brahmin family where nobody has done business. People who have done business in our family, all of them have failed. Our business, most of our relatives were school teachers, college teachers, 1 or 2 maybe doctors, LIC, bank में काम, ऐसा background था मेरा. One of my cousins started one grocery shop and he failed miserable, and then he has to sell his house and pay the money. So, without any family background of business, and so is my husband, we get into business. We don't know what it is and whether it's successful or not. I was a little bit concerned, but not worried. I don't get worried. I get concerned. So when we did not have client, and we don't get client the very next day, when we start a business, next day business ऐसे नहीं मिलता है. आपको मालूम है, आप तो फिक्की में है, आपको कैसा business चलता है, आपको मालूम है. So I told my husband one day, if our business doesn't come through, don't get scared. What will happen? Let us think the worst situation. I told, I am M.Tech Murthy. I will take up a teaching job. As a Brahmin, you are used to teaching. किधर भी आप ब्राह्मण लोगों को पकड़ो, वो टीचिंग ही प्रेफर करते हैं, वो जीन में है. Okay, and then I'll become a teacher somewhere. I'll get reasonable salary. You can't expect a teacher getting huge salary. I sold my ornaments, whatever little I had, and built a house, 2-bedroom house. And I told Murthy, we have loan-free house. I did not have any ornament. That ornament also was given by my parents. Okay, I sold it, and I told, I have a loan-free house. I will have a job, so we can live happily in our salary. Worrying does not. We should not worry about it. But what we have taken, let us try it for 3 years. In case we are not successful, you can take up another job. So when something low happens, I sit down, drink water, breathe for 2 minutes, and then how can you face it, and what is the worst situation? In that, how can you solve it? Nothing will happen in life. This too shall pass. I always believe this too shall pass. In most difficult period also, this too shall pass. That gives me strength. This too shall pass.
Thank you. Thank you,
Shivani.
Yeah.
We take our next question from Swati Verma. Swati, kindly put forward your question, and technical team, please unmute Swati.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, this is the right question to put for you, as you are a study in humility yourself. How do we instill humility and value of money in our children? And how did you ensure that these values of compassion and detachment from money were passed on to your children?
The most difficult thing in life is when you have money and tell children, I can't afford. With the difficulties, little bit of difficulties and less money, it's easy to bring up children. And again, I will tell you, when my children were young, very young, 10, 12 years, then we got this money, and every day paper will write how much shares we have and how much worthy we are. Yes. Immediately it will come. I'm sure everybody, it comes in the paper the same way. So one day my son came and told me, Mom, I want to celebrate my birthday. I said, why? Normally I used to buy samosa for him and fruity in those days so that the children will come home. He said, no, I want to do it in a hotel. I said, Beta, how did you get this idea? He must have been 6th or 7th class. He said, one of my friend, he celebrated in a hotel. There will be peer pressure, no? I said, Rohan, please think it over. I took him, he was very upset with me, but I said, no, come with me to my work, and showed him, Then in a Kannada medium school, I showed him there are many poor people who are studying there. I said, Bill, these are the people who are as intelligent as you are. And because they do not have money, they are in a different type of school with less help. And it was a shanty place. I told him why they are in that kind of atmosphere, because you are born other side of the line, which was not in your hand. It was not in your hand to be born in this family. They are born. They are as bright as you are. So God has made you rich. For what you save your money and give it to them so that they become like you. Study in a better school, get all these things. Then he said, that's all fine, Amma, but still I can celebrate my birthday in a hotel and still I can do. I said, yes, you can do that. But I won't allow that, Rohan. It's not your money. You have not earned. Me and Appa have worked very hard for this. When you make your own money, hard money, you celebrate, I really do not have any problem. But right now, I will not allow to do that. You want to entertain your friends? Bring them. He said, oh, same samosa and fruity. I said, okay, chat. I will have a chat this time. but I will not do. And he will come and tell me, Mom, Amma, will you give me, what is this? Pocket money. I said, you don't have even a pocket to your trousers, so why should I give you? That's the way. He said, give me. I said, why do you require money? Just like that. My other friends get. I said, your other friends get because I do not know about their houses. Maybe mother must be going, staying in a different place, so she must have sent some money. I do not know. I'm not going to give. And he insisted. I said, okay, I'll give you 20 rupees. He said, only 20? I said, yes, that's only 20. And I want the list how you spend money. He came and said 2 rupees, something he ate, something. It was 18 rupees and 2 rupees was less. And I told, I want to get the 2 rupees. Then only we'll have dinner. Then later he told me, Amma, don't give me 20 rupees and ask 20 times the hishab or the accounts. Better what I want, I will tell you, you buy and give it to me. To tell children how they have to live, we have to live like that. I said, Bill, look at me. I don't buy anything new. Though I have earned money, I have this money. But I have decided what money I have, I want to give it to philanthropy. I don't do anything extra. So why should you do? Why should you do? It was hard, but I have to argue with them and live that way. He wanted a big TV. I told him, until you pass class 12th, we will not have TV. I just did not buy a TV until Rohan was 12th. So result of that, my mother's house is downstairs, my house is upstairs. That's the reason I could do better in life, because she looked after my children. They had a TV. So when there is a Mahabharata or something, we will go and see TV, then I'll pull him up. The day he passed 12th class, I bought a new TV. And I don't even see that now. Okay. Rohan always remembers, Amma. Now my daughter Akshata, I was very particular. She was a young girl. She's very fond of colors. She would like to have some nice dress. I said, okay, altogether you should have 20 dresses. You buy new, then you retire some. Otherwise, you won't get. You won't get. Very strict with her. And they used to fight with me. Amma is like this. Look at other mothers. I said, never compare. A mango should be compared with another mango. So you should not compare with others' mother. You compare with me to my mother, all those. But I used to have a lot of disagreement. So I said, okay, now whatever money I would like to give you, I'll put it in a box. So that you own that, but you can't spend it. Rohan one day he told me it is like a money in the, then I made a passbook to show them how much money they have. Then he told me, Amma, it's a peanut compared to what shares I have. I said, shares are not yours. Your father has worked hard every time. Now my daughter has 2 daughters and she comes back and tells me, Amma, what you did, though I was extremely upset with you, I really appreciate what you did. Because you installed such a good values in me. And Rohan has, the other day I told Rohan, how many pants you have? He said, no, he's married and he's staying separately. He said, Amma, I have 3 pants, 4 shirts, 1 overcoat and 1 hat. I said, Rohan, you travel so much, you should buy some clothes. He said, do you buy? You don't know. Then why do you tell? Amma, you have installed such a good thing in my life that I always feel I rather save that money and give it to somebody. You have to work very hard. But it is not easy. But it is possible. It is possible.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think this was a learning for me rather than my child. I should definitely try and emulate. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I guess with these pieces of wisdom, we are able to basically fine-tune our children in getting them to feel more satisfied with unmaterialistic pleasures, especially in this age of abundance.
Yeah, it's a hard job, but you have to work hard. Who says bringing up a child is easy? Nobody says that. Nobody says that.
Ma'am, we take the next question from Vinita. The technical team, if you could please unmute Vinita.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Hi, Vinita.
Yours is a household of super achievers.
नहीं बेटा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Actually, ours is a house of people who are extremely honest and hardworking. That's what I want to tell. We are extremely hardworking and very honest about what we do not know. That I agree. Achiever or not achiever is different. People who are 2 feet tall, for them 3 feet is achieving. Who are 3 feet, for them 4 feet is achieving. So there is nothing like achieving. What you feel inside is your achievement. Tell me.
Very humble also, ma'am.
Tell
Can
me,
you please elaborate on what a regular day at the Murthy's home like?
Well, now my children are married and they are away. My husband and myself, we stay in our house. We have a dog by the name Gopi. Gopi is my dil ka dhadkan, okay? It's very hard without Gopi for me. And morning I get up, Gopi goes for a walk. I used to go with him. Now he's 40 kg and a big dog, you know. He's a golden retriever. I can't manage. If he sees another girl, then I can't manage, you know. So, so I have a small place to walk. I do exercise. Then I go to, all these days I used to go to office at 7:30. Then, you know, we'll have a review meeting. We have work, we have calls, everything. Then come for lunch, because Mr. Murthy comes for lunch. We have our home office. He comes for lunch. My husband is a very quiet person, and I'm a talkative person. And you know, I'm very fond of food. My husband is not fond of food. Somebody asked you, he's so different than you. I said, that's the reason different opposite poles attract each other, I told them. Correct. But we have many things common, like, you know, we enjoy book reading. We really are very fond of music, though I like Hindi film music a lot than anything else. For me, film music is very important. You know, when I go for a walk, I always listen to film music. I won't listen to bhajan and all. You know, I'm very honest with you. Yesterday only I was listening to the music songs of Anand. Kahi Doora Dil Din Dhar Jaye Tanja Ki Dulhan Badana Churaye. Yesterday I was listening to that beautiful song. Main Tere Liye Saat Rang Ki Sapne. All those things. I'm very fond of movies. My husband doesn't see movie at all. So we and at 5:30 we come back, and normally I don't go out much. After I come back, because I'm really tired, then I walk for an hour. Every day I walk for an hour, exercise 45 minutes. Okay. These two I think always. I don't use any cosmetics to my face. And I'm a vegetarian, strict vegetarian, and we retire around 9:30, 10, because I get up at 5:30 in the morning. Then otherwise, the remaining days I travel a lot. Now because of COVID only, I'm at home. Otherwise, I used to travel 20 or 22 days in a month. Then I have to go on my site visit, you know, whether it's a leprosy or whether it is a hospital or it's anath ashram, whatever. I have to do a lot of site visits. That's the way I will live. I hardly attend any wedding. Hardly have, I will have guests, but no parties at home. No parties. Come and I know the dinner is ready. Please come and join, have dinner, talk for some time, and that's it. You will not get any drinks. You will not get any non-vegetarian, no smoking at home. Someone said it's like, what is the fun in coming to your house? It's like a military house. I said, fair enough. But you get a good vegetarian house. So no, because I save time, and that time I convert it to writing. That's the reason.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm sure our guest would be mesmerized by your innocence and that deep understanding of life. And it will motivate them to face life head on with a smile and conviction in their heart.
I want to tell you one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody may ask question or may not, but this is my philosophy. I have a brother who is a professor of astrophysics in US, Caltech University. He's an extremely close friend of mine. Very close friend of mine. With my bhaiya, I can talk anything on the earth. I have dedicated one book to him. What is it? Here, there, and everywhere, on his name. So once I asked him, he has done very well in his subject, except Nobel Prize, he got all the prizes. Extremely bright in his subject, but otherwise he's not, in other vyavahar, he's not great. So I asked Srinivas his name, tell me, how do you rate yourself? Because like somebody asked, Vinita asked me, super achiever. I said, you have done 100 papers, this, that, tell me. He said, Sudha, whenever I think great about myself, he said, look at the sky. There are so many Milky Ways. Every Milky Way has many suns. One of them is our sun. Sun has many planets. One of them is Earth. In Earth, there are many countries. One of them is India. India has many states. One of them is Karnataka. Karnataka has many places. One of them is my hometown, Hubli. Hubli has many houses. One of them is our house. In our house, we are 4 children. And one of them is me. Tell me, compared to the Milky Way I see in the sky and what I am, is it not the smallest event? I'm born, I'll do something and I'll die. I said, yes. And that is the way one should think about life. There are people, if I'm intelligent, there are many people who are more intelligent than me. If I'm beautiful, there is Aishwarya Rai more beautiful than me. If I'm rich, Bill Gates is sitting above me. You are nothing in the ocean of life. In the ocean of life, you are a small person. Don't think great about yourself. You are born for some purpose. Do best whatever you can do, helping others and helping your own family, bringing your children in a righteous way, and that's your life. Please do not think great about yourself in any way, because you are not great at all. Now tell me the question now.
Okay, we are time bounded. So this would be the last question we'll take.
It's okay. 1 or 2 in case you want to give, it's okay, beta. It's okay. I understand. Once upon a time, I was sitting on your chair. Okay? So I understand. 1 or 2, you can take it. It's 12 to 40, but I will still take 1 or 2 in case you want.
Can
Tell
I
me.
please call Anushri R, please? So the technical team can unmute Anushri. Anushri, are you there?
Priyanka, maybe we can put up the question on Anushri's behalf.
Okay.
The question we can.
She's not.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, she's written in the Q&A, so I will put up the question on her behalf.
Okay.
Ma'am, she's written, how to teach the power of pen and paper to young generation, as they are a generation next to the digital generation.
No, it is not like, you teach and they learn. It's not possible. Because when you have in digital generation, then you are in digital generation. Like, I used to read a lot of books. Today I read on Wikipedia. The methodology has changed. Methodology has changed. You cannot swim against current because the current is digital. However, you can tell children, advise them, you write 25 lines a day. It will help your motor nerves better. It's good for the motor nerves better to write it. But I'm from the paper and pen generation. I write on the computer only. Easy to erase, easy to add, easy to highlight. So it is not, as an exercise you can tell, but they cannot do in writing. It's not possible to this generation. You can tell them it's a good thing to write because it's good for your motor nerves and nervous system. That's all I feel. At least my grandchildren, I have told them this way.
Can I please take in the next question quickly from Shruti Mala Dwara? Can the technical team please connect to Shruti Mala? Is Shruti Mala there? Okay, then we move on to Luna in that case. There's another question being put from Luna. So Luna Jaiswal, the technical team, please connect to Luna Jaiswal. Unmute her, please. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Luna.
Yes. Namaskar, ma'am.
You are calling from which place?
Lucknow.
Lucknow only.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you're truly inspiring. And ma'am, the way you walk after your work and do exercise should inspire all of us. And I'm sure 500 people listening to you here. Mm-hmm. And ma'am, I'm truly glad to hear the way youth is coming forward to help you in your philanthropy.
Yeah.
That will truly change the face of India. And my question to you is, ma'am, there's a vast difference in the way India was perceived in the past by the West.
Yeah.
And the way it is perceived now. So, ma'am, what tangible changes have you observed during your travels as well as your work? And what brought about these changes, ma'am?
Actually, I've written an article on this. I don't know which book it is. How the world has changed in 30 years. The way they look at us today, they used to look 30 years back. I won't remember which book, etc. But however, I will just tell in a nutshell. 30 years, 50 years back, 40 years back, 45 years back, maybe 43 years back, I was traveling to America, and the kind of questions they asked: are you a princess? How can you speak English? Can you have a elephant in your house? Then are you sleeping with a serpent in your bed? Which are all impractical. And I said, India is not what you think, but they always believed that. After 35 or 40 years, I was traveling from Miami to, from Columbia to Miami, and they asked me, they said, India is a great country. The officer said, India is a great country. I love Indian food. The Indians are good. They are not in a terrorist list at all. They look after their families well, and they pay taxes. In US, we all like Indian people. Their weddings are fabulous. And he asked me how many days visa you want. I want for a week, because I was giving a lecture at Stanford. They said, no, take for 6 months. It's good to go around our country. So I have seen how people have changed towards India, because the Indians who are abroad have behaved very well. They have behaved very well because they have paid their taxes. They have helped in the society. They are in good jobs. They are socially sensitive. And Indians in India have done well. Like Bangalore has become a software hub, and the verb has become a Bangalore today in software. And Indian people have done very well. Apart from software, film industry has done very well. You go to Switzerland, you can see Yash Chopra there on the lake, very famous lake. I've seen that. And you can see Kajol and Shah Rukh Khan and all those things. Why? Because Indians in India have done very well, and we have become globally very well. So we are recognized very well now. So ultimately, I know when I was young, I used to go to US, and we never had an Indian meal. Today, you can not only get Indian meal, you get also Kannada cinema. और हिंदी सिनेमा तो मिलता ही है, किधर भी जाओ हिंदी मिलता है. So what is indicating? It is not that government has done fantastic, or it's not that. It is the individuals, Indians, along with government help, have done well and showed the world we are capable. We are capable. And Indians abroad, whatever country they are, the US, UK, anywhere, they are good people. They have earned a good name. And that's the reason we have better names, better glory now than it was before.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And ma'am, I just wanted to ask you that you watch a movie every day.
You used to, not now. When I was young, I took a bet and watched 365 days, 365 movie. Not now.
Oh.
Where is the time now? Because this COVID is so much aggressively coming, so I have to do a lot more work every day.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Luna.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Luna. We'll try to connect to Shruti Mala once again. Are you there, Shruti?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you please put in your question?
Yeah. Namaskar.
Namaskar. I liked your name, Shruti Mala. Shruti, I've heard. Shruti Mala, I've not heard. Okay. Who has named you? Who has named you?
My mother. My mother. Her name is Dr. Manjumala Das.
Okay, you're a Bengali.
The Mala is there in our family, yeah.
Okay, but nice. I never knew Shruti Mala.
Thank you.
Okay, tell me. Okay.
I'm from Guwahati. I'm a bilingual writer. I write in Assamese and English. So my question to you is regarding the bilingual. Sometimes when a plot comes to your mind and you wonder, do you wonder that should I put this in English or should I write in Kannada? So does this come to your mind? If it comes, how do you tackle,
Well, I have a very peculiar way. For example, when I have to write my emotions, they are always in Kannada. Okay, I don't think in English. My mind thinks only in Kannada. Then I write in Kannada. Then I know all my books, translation only I do. I don't give to anybody. Then when I want to write in English, then I think in English. So novels, for me, novels will take 3 years to write. And first I write in Kannada, then I write in English. Whereas my experiences in Infosys Foundation, I think in English and I write in English. Then I do in Kannada. So I kept 2 compartments. One is the English compartment. When one is open, other should be closed. When English is open, Kannada is closed. I don't even think in that language. When Kannada I'm thinking, then I close English. So I'm able to navigate both. And when I write in Kannada, I use shorthand on a white paper, pen and paper. When I write English, I do it on a computer.
Okay, thank you.
It is left to every writer the way they feel comfortable.
Yeah, but sometimes it becomes I feel sometimes it becomes a problem. Like, when maybe you're going halfway, you're writing and then think, no, I should have written that in Kannada.
Where my emotions are very high, it has to be first in Kannada, because it's my mother tongue, where I can express it very well. Then I close that compartment and I open English. Okay, that way I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really love your books.
Thank you very much. Yes, the time is up, I think. The time is up.
I believe all our guests are mesmerized by your conversation. And the last 2 hours has literally been a virtual journey through your extraordinary life, wherein you'd never shied away from any challenges to the stereotypes. Thank you, ma'am, for this peekaboo into your life.
Thank you. So,
Going to the
thank all of you.
Yes.
I'll thank all of you for patient hearing. I always enjoy talking to women because I understand them better than probably men, I think. I make a lot of fun. It was fun. I wish I could have come physically. But once the Rama temple comes, that becomes a bahana for me to come to Lucknow.
You're more than welcome.
I will try to come. Okay.
I now request our Senior Vice Chair, Arushi Tandon, to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was a pleasure to listen to Srimati Sudha Murthy. I am truly spellbound. We hope that the values you have talked about today and what you practice every day through your actions and stories will be practiced to some degree by all of us fortunate enough to listen to you today. Before we leave, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our President-elect, Mrs. Janvi Phukan, for attending this event. A special thanks to our GB members for gracing this event, and a huge shout out to all our fellow members across the country for being here with us. I would like to thank Pooja Garg, our chapter chair, for making this event possible, even in times like these, and giving us a chance to keep learning and evolving. I would like to extend our gratitude to Ms. Manjri Mishra, our event chair, without whom this would not have been possible. I would also like to express our heartfelt thanks to our sponsors, RG Group, Shalimar Corp, Quip Salon, Wild Punch, and now Lucknow. A huge thanks to the group of ladies who worked tirelessly towards making this event a success. These ladies are our Vice Chair Seemu Ghai, Secretary Swati Verma, Ritu Mathur, Devanshi Sik, and our MC for the day, Priyanka Chandan. A special thank you to our team Event 2. Last but not the least, I would like to thank our flow members from Lucknow. Ladies, we promise to keep up to the benchmark we have set up for ourselves today. Thank you. Thank you, Sudha ji.
Namaste. Namaste. Thanks.